Once again, welcome back to the program. आज दे segment में मेरा साथ देंगे वसंत लखानी ते नील जिहड़े कि इंडो अफ्रीका चैरिटेबल सोसाइटी तो आए ने 8 मई ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮਦਰਸ ਡੇ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਯੂਗੈਂਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਆਓ ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੀ ਮਹਿਮਾਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। Thank you. So Vasant ji, we'll start with you. Indo Africa Charitable Society, when was it started, and since the time of its inception, what all have you done?
The Indo Africa Charitable Society was registered 3 years ago.
Okay.
But prior to that, I have been involved in serving Uganda with some doctors, also in India as well.
Right.
I was in tsunami in South India, tsunami time. I was also in earthquake in Gujarat in 2001. So I was involved quite a bit. And then eventually I thought maybe I should do something different.
Right.
I've been working with the doctors. The doctors I've been working with, they were lacking administrative skills or administrative time. They can do it, but they never have enough time.
Right.
So they appointed me to look after the program. And thereon we developed and we went further and further.
Right.
Last year, Neil was with me, and he will tell you about his experience.
Absolutely, we'll talk to him. But you started with this initiative of taking the youngsters to Uganda.
Yeah.
What prompted you to do that?
See, what prompted it, I was getting a lot of students asking me what experience they would gain.
Right.
Then I said, well, if you come with me, you will work with a doctor, or you will work in the pharmacy, or you work with a dentist. You have all the experiences you need. So what happened is, when few of them came who were aspiring to go into medicine or dentistry, incidentally they tried prior to coming with me, and they had no luck getting into those faculties.
Right.
What happened after they coming, they all got into first year. I had about 5 or 6. They got into medicine, dentistry.
Wonderful. So Neil, you were one of the members last year when you went to Uganda.
Yes.
What kind of experience did you get over there?
It's very eye-opening. It's a big culture shock. Everything is not like what you see here. Right? The lifestyle is completely different, especially the way the patients are there and the number of cases they have over there. There's a lot of people with malaria, AIDS, and the list goes on and on. So it was really different to see something like that compared to what we see here every day. So it was a big culture shock.
Eye-opener for you.
It was a big eye-opener.
So was it the first time that you had gone for such kind of work anywhere?
Yeah, it was the first time I have gone anywhere for any such work. Yeah.
Right. So. And what do you do presently?
I'm a student actually, but I'm a business student. So going at a medical camp is completely opposite from what would normally be what I do. But I wanted to go. Vasant Uncle advertises it so well, and he tells me all the good things he does. So I wanted to see firsthand what.
So now that you have seen it firsthand, the privileges what we get in countries like Canada and where you went, what kind of change did you find in yourself?
Definitely just the perception of how things are in the world and how just the privilege we see over here and the advantages we have over here and the opportunities that are present over here, that it really makes you want to take the full advantage of all the opportunities we have over here to make sure that.
So you think you become a better person?
I think so.
Wonderful. Yes. So Mr. Vasant, every year you also celebrate Mother's Day, and this year you're celebrating on May the 8th. Where is it being celebrated?
Well, it's at River Palace Banquet Hall. It's in Surrey now.
Right.
It's on 130 and 72. It's called Riverside Signature Banquet Hall.
Right.
We are doing this for the last 4 years. We raise the funds to deliver these programs.
Okay.
We go once a year. I just came from India in February.
Okay.
We go to India once a year. I take a team of doctors from UK, Canada, and USA.
Okay.
And I have in India, I have maybe about 7, 8 of us.
Okay.
Because January is a tough month to come because everybody's working.
Right.
August in Uganda is a better month because students are off.
Right.
Parents have holidays. And what happens is I get about 20, 25 people.
Okay.
We also have local doctors. We had a couple of patients that were outstandingly good, and I think Neil should talk about it because he saw them firsthand when they entered. You know, so in Uganda we've been doing. What we're looking for right now is we have committed. We went to Smile Africa, which is an orphanage in the town we were. It's a big. There are about 400 orphan children there, residential.
Okay.
But during the day there would be over 1,000. Why? Because the parents go to work and then they leave their children. Either of the parents would be there, either father. These students, when they finish their grade 12 or then they have no means to go for further studies.
Right.
When they have no means to go to further studies, what they do, they are on the streets.
Right.
So what we suggested to them that we build a shed there.
Okay.
At the cost of 15,000. That will give them some vocational training.
Right.
i.e. mechanics or carpentry or something like that.
Right.
So when they are 17, 18, they start working someplace. They get some, that will help them maintain themselves or support their families as well.
Absolutely, and also they'll be not going into the wrong groups.
Yeah.
Right. So the money raised from this will be used for that particular cause.
Some of it will be used that because we already raised $5,000.
Okay.
Commitment is 15,000.
Right.
We need $10,000 more. Our association, our counterpart, our trust in UK has also committed some money towards that. So we want to raise about $10,000.
Wonderful.
Also, Uganda camp budget is about $25,000-$30,000.
Okay.
So we need some money for that too.
Right. So when is this trip going this year in Uganda?
This year we'll be going on August the 3rd.
Okay.
So August the 3rd is the Monday. First Monday of August we start. August 3rd to the August the 14th. It will be 2 weeks. We will be in Uganda.
Right.
I myself will be about 4 weeks. I go a week early, set it up and close and everything down.
Okay.
And I have already registered about 12.
Right.
2 of them are young students.
Okay.
Just first year students from here. And a couple of dentists, couple of doctors. So still there is some time for registration. We seek registration. Anybody is interested can contact
me. Where
me.
they can call you?
They can call me at my phone number 604-987-1925 is my home number.
Okay.
They call me on my mobile.
Right. So Anil, as Mr. Vasant Lakhani was saying that when you go over there, he was talking about the patients. Could you please tell us a little bit about what kind of work do you do when you go there?
Well, when you first go into the camp, there's about like 8 general practitioners. You have 2 people who are in the vision section, optometrists, and then you have a couple dentists, and then they have a lot of dental assistants as well. That's what we had when we were there, and so everything was registered accordingly as to what the patient was requiring, what attention they're requiring.
Right.
But sometimes we'd get more difficult or odd patients that was a bit out of the ordinary. So those types of patients, it was beyond our capabilities, and Vasant Lakhani and Indo-Africa Charitable Society would ensure that they were looked after. So for example, we had one case, I believe the name was David. He was a parasitic conjoined twin. Right. And what that essentially means is that he was born with a conjoined twin, but one half was not developed. Right. So he had to have surgery to be
and it's only because of these kind of missions that these kind of people get help. Otherwise, nobody look after them.
Otherwise, they're on their own. Right. And it's really sad to see that there's not that much help.
And finally, why would you encourage the youngsters to come for this mission?
I think it's just the biggest eye opener. You haven't seen life if you haven't really witnessed this, and it's something to help and to feel that you've been able to help to educate the population there as to how to change their lifestyle, how to properly brush your teeth at night, how to help kids to properly ensure that they're living safe practices. So it's definitely
so it's going to be a once in a life kind of
it is a once in a lifetime.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for doing all this initiative, taking the initiative and helping those who really require that help, and best wishes from our side. Please.
Just one more thing. We also now have started for the last 3 years. We've been serving homeless in downtown Vancouver.
Okay.
So now until last year we were doing once a month. Now we're doing 2 months. So also we need funds requirements for that too. Every month, twice a month, we go downtown at a church and cook the meal and serve them. We serve about 200-300 people.
That's a wonderful thing. While we are also concerned about our brothers and sisters abroad, but even in our own country where lots of things need to be worked, you are looking into that. Thank you once again and best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So जो ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਇੰਡੋ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਚੈਰੀਟੇਬਲ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਵਸੰਤ ਲਖਾਨੀ ਅਤੇ ਨੀਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਯੰਗਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਕੈਂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਏ ਸਨ। ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੈਂਪਸ ਲਿਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਸਹੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਫॉर ਗ੍ਰਾਂਟਡ ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਕੀਕਤ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੀਲ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। 8 ਮਈ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਕੈਂਪ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ ਆਯੋਜਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਮਦਰਸ ਡੇ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਏਗਾ 130 ਤੇ 76 ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਿਵਰਸਾਈਡ ਬੈਂਕਟ ਹਾਲ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਾ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਅਗਸਤ ਦੇ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ 3 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 14 ਤਰੀਕ ਤੱਕ ਯੂਗੈਂਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਭੇਜਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।